What's up guys, Saiyan Legend here, back again with another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the breakdown for the treasure map versus Capone Bege, which is going to be coming in a couple days from this time. So I have some teams here, hopefully that you guys can actually use for the upcoming treasure map. Now this is a more accessible kind of, these are more accessible teams than what I'm used to making. I'm used to making free-to-play teams and pay-to-win teams. So these are just kind of like in the middle. Not my first time making these kind of teams, but it's gonna be my first time showcasing them in a team breakdown like this. Like I said, we're gonna go over the breakdown of this, and I'm probably trying to post teams I'm gonna be using personally for this treasure map. So just, I guess, see if I do make that video or not. It's either gonna be a video or a post, so just keep your eye out for that. So without any further ado, let's get started. So starting off, we're going to be looking at the Battle Rush boss, Duval. So Duval is the typical end boss in this treasure map here, where everyone gets to cool down by 5 turns, and you got to bring side units. So for stage 3, we're going to be dealing with 5 turns of damage reduction and defense up. Now, the defense up is only 10k, which isn't a lot in terms of damage, so you should be able to easily break through the defense, so you don't really have to bring a defense up producer. I would assume. I like to say that's like, you know, the case here, but we just don't know until the actual treasure map releases. In any case, we're gonna just use a character to just remove the defense up completely, so you don't have to worry about that. You also have to deal with 4 turns of special bind and 4 turns of burn, which is going to be 20k per perfect, which really sucks, especially with the fact that on defeat, on top of the enemy healing, they're going to give us a 30k damage hit. So this would be a problem if we didn't have the Laboon ship. Now the Laboon ship is really good here, the boosted one, because he's able to double our HP, which in most cases, especially with treasure map, in most cases that's a lot of HP. So we should be able to easily tank that damage. So that's not really going to be too much of a problem here. Now the team we're going to use here is going to be a super type Luffy team along with a friend captain anniversary ace. Now the anniversary ace is totally not needed. It could be literally any captain that fits the bill here, but he is just the one that comes to mind here because he does other boosts and everything. So the way this team works is that 2 of the units on this crew is actually recommended for this fight, being the Kazuna Clash 5+ Garp and the treasure map chopper from the film Red. So the way it works is that the Garp is actually supposed to be able to remove the damage reduction and the defense up by 5 turns. Well, he does get rid of it by 6 turns. If you use his special, he gets rid of it by 4 turns, and then both his super type and his super tandem get rid of the other 2 turns, or the other turn of damage reduction and defense up. So you are able to get rid of all that just with his special alone, on top of the fact that he is able to give your team a color affinity boost. Now the special bind and the burn, there's 2 ways of dealing with the burn. One, you could have the anniversary ace use his super type special to get rid of 6 turns of burn, and you also get resistance down too. But you also can use the chopper here, which also gets rid of the burn and the special bind too by 7 turns. And it's also able to provide a resistance down for side units. So the chopper and Garp are really, really good for this fight here. The Luffy and the Zoro are both here just to give an attack and orb boost, and the Ace, like I said, is just really a whatever unit, and then you can just fill out the other spot with another boosted unit if you wanted to. It's really just like this team is really easy to use here. It's just a really easy fight. Now for the Battle Rush against Law here, we're going to be using Cerebral and Slasher and Powerhouse characters this time around. And on stage 3, we have to deal with 5 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of 1.1 times chain lock, which is really annoying, 5 turns of remove SFX, which is the blindness debuff, and then 5 turns of the captain swap with our bottom right unit, which is really annoying. So you gotta make sure you have a unit in that bottom right corner that's able to switch to the captain and, you know, be a good captain here. We also have to deal with block slots, and then we have to deal with an interrupt that happens when you activate a color affinity boosting special, removing all of our beneficial effects and 2 turns of a crewmate special reverse. So just make sure that you're not activating a special that has color affinity in it, because you'll then get interrupted. So the way this team is going to be working here, I forgot to mention Law is a strength unit, so we're going to be using quick units here. again with the Laboon ship, because the Laboon ship is really good for just like until it's like done being boosted, which is going to be on the 19th. So just make sure you're using the Laboon ship for all these teams. So for this team, we have Treasure Map, Big Mom, and Fujitora as our recommended units because they deal with basically the whole of this stage here. So the way it works is that Fujitora is going to be in the bottom right corner, because when you get swapped into the captain spot, he is able to activate his super class or super type special, which is going to give your team a color affinity boost, which will not activate the interrupt whatsoever. So that's really cool. On top of that, his special does remove chain lock by 5 turns, or 7 turns in his special, but in this case 5 turns. And then his sailor ability is able to remove the blindness for us. Now the way it's worded, the blindness happens before the captain swap, so it should be able to be removed before he gets swapped into the captain. That hopefully that's the case. If not, it's not the end of the world. You just have to deal with blindness, which isn't really that big of a deal. Now the damage reduction and the chain lock, or not chain lock, and the block slots are able to be removed by the Big Mom, because the Big Mom does have the special to get rid of both of those things, both the damage reduction and to give us matching slots to block orbs. Now she is also able to give us a chain lock if our captain is driven a powerhouse, which Fujitora luckily is a powerhouse unit. And she's also able to inflict increased damage taken to the enemy, giving them more damage and everything. So that's pretty cool. Now the other 2 units we have here are the Ashura Doji and the Moria. This is the Treasure Map Moria, and they both are able to give us some other boosts. The Moria gives us an orb boost, and the Ashura Doji gives us a defense down conditioner boost. Now the Garbus and Goku unit are here just to facilitate the activation of the super type special of Fujitora. That's really all they're there for, because you do need a Sengoku, Garp, I think Kizaru, and an Akainu on your team to get that special. So the Garp and the Sengoku are literally the only boosted unit that is able to fulfill that requirement for us. Now the friend captain can be literally whatever you want, just like in the Duval team. Now probably the first person that comes to mind will probably be the Whitebeard, the Dex Whitebeard legend, that's able to I think boost powerhouse characters. So you can use him as a friend captain, and it does a wave clear too, so you can get through the first 2 stages really quickly with a special, and he will give you an attack boost. I think if you already have an orb boost, I really want to say that's how it works. I can't remember too much about his special. I don't really use him a lot, so yeah, I think that's what he does. So this team is actually pretty solid for accessible players out there. Now for the Battle Rush boss against Kid is going to be another strength unit, so we have to bring quick units here. Now he's not just going to be a strength unit, and you'll see why in a minute. Now his the fight is going to give quick, psi, and int characters to cool down here. On stage 3, we have to deal with a type change, meaning that he's not going to always be a strength unit, so he's going to be either strength or int, which as you see here, they really want you to use Shane's Crew here. Because if you have Shane's Crew, you can deal with both of those colors. And he's also going to have 5 turns of resilience, which Shane's Crew's, I think it's captain ability, when you activate their special, becomes an end-of-turn damage dealer. The 7-turn special bind, also his captain ability removes that too. 3 turns of attack down if your chain is below 3 or above 4, which again, his special can get rid of. Because he does give a 3.75 chain lock, and then block slots, which again, his special can get rid of, giving us matching slots. Now, the only other thing that Shane's Crew provides too is the attack boost, base attack boost, and the color affinity boost. You are able to activate all those specials, all parts of the special, with this team build here. You'll see why. I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. But the other parts of this team include Smoothie Oven giving us an orb boost, and the Brook giving us a defense down conditional boost. Now, the other 2 units can be literally whatever you want them to be. It really don't matter whatsoever. So they're just 2 free spots. You can put like your highest quote unquote point boosters on there. Now, for getting all of his abilities to activate for Shane's Crew, basically what you do is have both side versions up, and then when you get to the final boss stage, you can either swap with the friend captain or not, depending on the color of Kid, and then activate the special. And since since your captain, the Shane's Crew, is Sai, you'll get the color 3 in the boost, and then you can swap your captain, the Shane's Crew, and become the quick unit, and you get the base attack boost as well. So you are able to activate all parts of his special and still have enough damage output depending on what color Kid is going to be. Now, going over the last Battle Rush boss against the Capone Bege, we have Kuma being a Psi unit, meaning you primarily are bringing in units here. So we have Driven, Striker, and Slasher getting the cooldown this time around. On stage 3, we have to deal with 6 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of attack down, 5 turns of chain down, and 1 turn of special reverse along with unfavorable slots. So this is the team we're going to be trying to use against this boss here. We have the Super Tandem Kid, which is really good because he is actually able to remove, he's able to give us matching tandem slots with his special. He's also able to remove the special reverse by 1 turn with his super class special. And he's also able to, give us the attack or boost depending on what we have on the field already, active already. Now, damage reduction, the way we're going to get around this damage reduction here is that I've been seeing a lot of, I've seen some teams out there actually use Kid on their own team and use the killer support, which is actually really good because the killer support is really good here because when your enemy activates, I think, damage reduction and threshold or just damage reduction, you get rid of it by 1 turn, which is really, really good. Now, the other way to get around this is by using the Zoro here to get rid of the damage reduction by 5 turns, and then use the super type Blackbeard special to remove the extra turn of damage reduction left, because his super type special does remove all enemy beneficial effects by 1 turn, which is really, really good. And we also have the Barto Cavendish being able to give us a 2.25 attack boost for driven characters, and then we can use Kid special after that to get the orb boost. And the Dofi here, this is the 5+ Dofi from the Kazuna Clash. He's able to remove the attack down by 5 turns because our captain is driven. And the Heat and Wire are just here to remove the chain down, and they can provide the defense down conditional boost while also facilitating activating both the super tandem and the super class special of the Kid here. So we're going to be dealing a lot of damage with this team right here. And now for the big boss of the treasure map, Capone Bege here, being the Kizaru. That's going to be an imp character, so you're primarily wanting to use side characters here. Now, the characters getting the cooldown this time around is going to be Fighter, Free Spirit, and Powerhouse characters. Now, on stage 2, we have to deal with 2 turns of a 10 million damage barrier, which is going to be very annoying to deal with because not a lot of units get rid of barrier that isn't the boosted units, obviously. 3 turns of paralysis, 6 turns of despair, which does go down to 3 turns, and then we have to deal with 5 turns of type toss unfavorable. They really want you to use Bonnie here because she's able to provide you with recovery slots, which will not be counted as unfavorable here. And then on top of that, the stage 2 boss is going to give you unfavorable slots. So the way, I'm going to continue on with the stage here first. On stage 3, we have to deal with 9 turns of bind to the captains, which does go down to 6 turns. We have to deal with 5 turns of attack down, hunger for 3 recovery or similar slots, 2 turns of paralysis, and 1 turn special reverse. And if you use a slot change on that stage, you will get slot binded, so obviously don't use one. And on defeat, he will give you a 100k damage death hit, which is really, really difficult to deal with because not a lot of units are going to be on your crew that can deal with that damage. So the way we're going to be working around here is we're going to be using this kind of team setup here. We have Bonnie and the Final Tap Luffy, both being able to provide you with a full board of recovery slots, which is really, really good because it can get around the type slots being unfavorable, basically. And the hunger, because I know I personally don't have my Luffy's hunger maxed out at all. So being able to have recovery slots is going to be really, really useful here. So the way we're going to get around all these gimmicks, we have the paralysis and despair to get rid of on the 2nd stage. Now, if you have the numbers unit from the current turtle farming event, they're able to get rid of both paralysis and despair by some number of turns, and then depending on your HP, they can charge their own special back up to max, basically, for the stage 1 special, and be able to remove some other turns of paralysis on stage 3, which is really, really good. They also do provide a chain boost, I think, on the next turn, which is like, it's really a whatever effect. But the main part is that they are able to remove the paralysis and the despair. Now, also on stage 2, what we're aiming to do here is probably activate all of Bonnie's stuff. So we're able to get, I think she provides increased damage taken, color fluidity, and a chain boundary effect for all of her kits, so special and super class special. So the using Bonnie on stage 2 should be enough damage to deal with that stage. Now on stage 3, what we're going to be doing is for the Bonnie specifically, we have the units of Yamato, the supports of the Raizo, and the Nami, which the Nami is actually in the metal shop right now. If you don't have those Nami right here, you can pick her real fast to use for if you're going to use this kind of team here. These units are able to get rid of all 6 turns of the bind. Yamato can get rid of it by 3 turns. The Raizo gets rid of it by another turn, and the Nami gets rid of it by 2 more turns. So that's all 6 in total. And on top of that, the Yamato is able to reduce our special cooldowns by 1 turn, so we can actually get around the special reverse on that stage too. Now the attack down, we have the cat dog being able. This is 6+ to cat dog being able to remove the attack down for us. Now, before you even activate their special, we're going to activate the specials of Zoro, Sanji, and the Luffy because they give us an attack boost and an orb boost. So we're not getting the attack and orb boost, the attack and color fluidity boost of the what's their name, the cat dog here. Now that's only because the cat dog special only boosts, I think, Slasher, Striker, Street 1 Powerhouse, which not a lot of our units are, especially the side ones. I think the only ones that are boosted would be boosted would be the numbers, the Zoro, Sanji, and their self, which I mean is okay, but I'd rather just boost a lot more units than just those units right there. So we're gonna be using Zoro, Sanji special first to give us the side characters having 2.25 orb boost, which is a lot better. And the attack boost is going to be given to everybody here on the team, I think, except for the numbers, being the Luffy attack boost for Free Spirit Fighter and quick characters, which is really good. So that's kind of the team setup here. We also have the support ability of Barto. This is from the Kazuna Clash, so you are able to pick him up in the shop. The way it works is that when you activate Luffy's special, he is able to provide a damage reduction for 50%. So when you are attacking with the characters here, you're going to have recovery slots on this team due to Luffy's super type, and you should be able to recover some health back from getting the spirit from the last stage. And it should be around 50k you're taking if you have the damage reduction up, so you should be able to survive that death hit. But I mean, that's just me guessing here. But you really should be able to survive this death hit. If not, then obviously I'll have to rework this team. And I probably didn't explain the team too well. I know the gist of what I want to do with it, and I mean, if you're kind of looking at it, you kind of see where it's going. This is probably the most iffy team here. This is one of the most trickiest. This is the more tricky boss right here for this treasure map, so it needs some working and tweaking to get it to work properly, but hopefully this team build does work out in some way, shape, or form. And now for the final team versus the treasure map versus Capone Bege, being Capone, being an int unit, so we're primarily bringing psi units here. Now the cooldown is going to be given to quick, psi, and int. But additionally, on that turn you get the cooldown, I guess the boss for that stage is going to give you int slots and boost the chance of landing on int slots, so that if you're using Bonnie, she will change those slots into recovery slots, so that she can, I guess, get the stacks up in her special, so that she can get the higher color fluidity boost in her special. That's all that's all it's really there for. I mean, it's just whatever, really. So stage 3, this boss battle has 4 stages. I'm pretty sure it'll also help in getting those numbers up for Bonnie's special. So stage 3 gonna have delay immunity, and then the stage 3 boss is gonna give our crewmates 3 turns of fear. So their crewmate abilities are shut off for 3 turns, which kind of sucks. We're also going to get hit with 9 turns of bind to the captains, and then 5 turns of attack down below a 2.5 times chain lock, or chain whatever, really. So really beneficial for you to bring either a chain boundary effect or a chain locking effect, so you can get around that attack down. Now, on defeat of this boss, you do get hit with 30k damage, which shouldn't be too much of a problem as long as you have enough health to deal with it. Especially with the Laboon ship giving you double health, you should have enough health to tank this damage here. Now, stage 4 is going to be with 4 turns of crewmate special bound. So specifically, the crewmates are getting a special bound, and if you have units like the Hawkins, you can use his super type ability to remove the special bind for you, or you can use Shank's Crew to remove it passively. Now, we're going to get hit with 5 turns of damage threshold and defense up being 100k this time around, which probably a little bit more of a problem than what the 10k defense up was in the Duval fight. So probably beneficial to just remove the defense up in this case here. Now, we also have to deal with 2 turns of a 20 hit barrier, which in all honesty really sucks because not a lot of units are boosted here that get rid of 2 turns of barrier. Besides the boosted units, I think the Blackbeard does that, which, I mean, if you have the Blackbeard, then this is a really easy fight for you. We also get hit with 5 turns of chain down, which again, bring a high enough chain boost or chain boundary or chain lock and get around that. And then block slots for our entire crew. And if you use a chain locking special, you get hit with 6 turns of bind to the bottom row and 1 turn of damage nullification to the enemy, which obviously you want to avoid. So the way this team is set up here, we have the Frank Captain Bonnie, and we also have Shank's Crew. Now, the reason we're using Shank's Crew is because he does a lot of really good things for our crew. So for one, he is able to passively remove the special bind that happens on stage 4. And on top of that, he's able to give us a chain lock for 3.75 times for 3 turns. If you have his low limerick 3 abilities, he will extend that by another turn. So it's a 4-turn chain lock that will carry over to the next stage, so you don't have to deal with any of the chain related debuffs whatsoever. We also have your Bonnies here to basically just give us some extra damage output. Mostly, I want to say, if I remember correctly, I want to say this is like more for like stage 3, stage 4 than just stage 3. I want to say this is what I'm using it for. We also have some other units, like the barrier is going to be a bit of a problem, but if you have a unit like Treasure Map Frankie, he is able to deal 20 hits of damage to the enemy. So realistically, you should be able to get rid of the barrier just immediately with his special, and you don't have to deal with it whatsoever. And we also have Izo, who's able to, this is Treasure Map Izo, who's able to remove the threshold by 5 turns and get rid of the block slots too. Now, I also forgot to say that the Frankie is also able to get rid of the defense up by, I think, 6 turns, which is really good. He's also able to buff chain locks if you already have a chain lock active. So this is a really good unit to be using for this fight right here. Like, if you have this unit, your life is a lot easier in this fight here. Now, regarding the other debuffs that are stated here, the bind on stage 3, we have a combination of the 6+ Dofi and the, the 5+ Dofi and the Straw Hat support on Frankie, being able to, in combination, get rid of 7 turns of bind to the captains, which is really good. And that's really about it for like getting rid of the debuffs and everything. Now for damage output, we do have Garp here. Garp is really good for giving our whole team an attack boost if your captain is a slasher, the fighter, slasher, striker, and shooter, which Shank's Crew is a shooter and a slasher depending on which form you're in, and combined they're a slasher unit. So you are able to get a 1.75 attack boost for your whole team. And then the flop pace support on there only occurs if the side unit you attached her to activates a orb changing special, which Garb does do that. So she will also provide us a 1.5 orb boost for our side characters, which is really good. Now this is why I say I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using Bonnie on the last stage, because she does provide a color affinity boost for the entire team. So we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. And she also does increase damage taken to the team too, to the enemy. So we are able to deal a lot more damage to the enemy there. And for stage 3, we do have the super swap of Shank's Crew. We're going to be ideally starting off with this quick form, which doesn't get boosted by Bonnie, but when you swap into the Psy form, you for one get a full board of matching slots, you get a 2.25 attack boost, and when you activate a special, you get a chain lock And I'm pretty sure if you have him like level limit 5, you do get a 3-turn color affinity boost, which is really good. So you don't have to worry about using Bonnie at all, or her special for her color affinity boost. So you can just use it for the increased damage taken ability. Either way, you're gonna have enough damage to deal with all these gimmicks for this fight here. So that's really it for the teams here. Like I said, I may or may not do a video or a post about my personal teams that I'll be using. You just have to watch out and see about that later on. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I will see you guys in the next video.